Welcome to Salvador Valley. As you can see, we finally fixed our gate. Come on in and I'll show you the latest developments on site. Starting here, we finally fixed our entrance. So we have a path all the way up to our primary building, which is brilliant during the rain. I'm delighted to be able to share with you another video. This is going to be the fourth one in a row, which is the first time we've actually achieved that. So it might not be the highest quality edit, but focusing more on consistency rather than perfection. Right here, we've got our patio area, which is being renovated, or, well, it's being built. So we just put in this retaining wall to prevent this soil from washing away. We're going to make a bespoke barbecue area with a teak roof and make that out of red bricks. So what we want from you guys is to send us your best designs. Now I'll take you into our shed or house, which is a bit messy, but that's the reality of living in a space under construction. And our big job on now is finally putting in a proper kitchen. We've avoided this for a long time because this isn't our ultimate living quarters. It's just our in-between as we build further up the property, but the reality is we will be here for the next 6 months. So we are going to build a proper kitchen unit that goes the length of that back wall. The idea is starting with a countertop that goes from the fridge to the side wall with sliding doors. So that's what we've got earmarked to do. And we hope to have that done in the next 2 weeks in time for the next video. So if you have any suggestions on maybe improving our design, which is 3 doors on rollers that will slide independently on the bottom with one countertop that joins to the fridge. And then above it, we'll put a cabinet here, a space, and then another cabinet there. So this will be for like spices, food, which will all be stored in there, maybe plates and bowls and cups. And on the other side, just general storage for Tupperware or things you don't use as often. I'm sorry I didn't clean the kitchen for this video, but we are actually still living here, so it's kind of hard. And if you want to be consistent, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. So excuse the optics. The sink is very solid. We're delighted with that. Thank you, Joe. This is space which we're leaving for another bigger fridge in the future. In the meantime, we'll keep going with the mini fridge. Nice sticker there by Dave. And yeah, down here, we're going to put in some drawers. So maybe move them blocks, because the whole bar is still portable. It's all just resting on blocks, but it's pretty solid. Solid enough for the time being. This is a new mega couch, which was just built today after upgrading from this micro couch. This is pretty ridiculous. It's like a bed and a couch all in one. But it does the job. Or, well, it hasn't fully been tested, it's only a few hours old. This is our office. It might not look like much, but if you want to lock in and edit a video, like I often need to do, here's where it gets done. You have privacy from the riffraff in the kitchen and privacy from the riffraff on the street, because we're in a pretty vibrant area. There's always stuff happening, obviously on site with the gang, and then with the neighbors, there's always people floating around. So that's our living space. Showing you the tour now, even though it's far from complete, so that you can hold us accountable for our next video in 2 weeks to see the progress that we've made. What's helping us organize that space has been this new shed, which obviously is not organized because, well, it's a constant challenge of balancing multiple things. We're going to lay out all the tools properly. That was just a provisional system. We're going to remove all those planks because they're actually good teak planks. They're just being used as workbenches for now. We need to order more plyboard, replace them with plyboard, use the teak for another exciting project, which is completely experimental, but we'll see how it goes. And in here is our utility room. So we've got the washing machine, and we've turned, if you've been following the page for a while, you recognize this wardrobe used to be our kitchen. This cupboard used to be in the kitchen as well. Sorry, Camilla, I know you loved it in the kitchen so much, but it's well, it's going to be utility storage for like bulk items like vinegar and soy sauce. You don't need big gallons of that in the kitchen. So we're going to keep hanging shelves. We've got one up there. Need to get more brackets to hang more shelves. Wall-to-wall shelves basically is what we're looking. We were going to put a sink here, but now we've realized that we probably don't need a sink in the utility room. With the washing machine, it's enough, and we have a few taps just around the property anyway. So if you need to wash your hands, you won't have too far to go. This is a freezer which hasn't been used yet. It was bought second hand, but we just don't need it, but we got a good price on it. So that's where we're at right now in our living quarters. I'll take a little walk around. So in the next 2 weeks, we want to upgrade all of these stepping stones, because right now there's just one stone per step, which means if you don't land on the stones the right way, you can't take, it's not a comfortable step. It's nice to have a choice of where to step. So we're gonna double the amount of stepping stones, which is gonna be a big job, but it needs to be done because it's a bit of a safety hazard, particularly when it's raining and wet. And in the next 2 weeks, I think we have enough on our plate with those kitchen renovations and the patio area. So when you tune in, next video, hopefully we'll have achieved those goals. And there's probably a few other there's always little things to do. Like this, for example, is not a hand washing station, a foot washing station, because we do live in a rainy environment and it's not fully landscaped. You get muddy feet. So we built this sweep and brush foot washing station so you can clean your feet. Mine were, well, to be honest, I don't think I've had clean feet for the last 2 years, so, but it gets most of the dirt off. But anyway, anything else to add? We need to prune the entire teak forest, which is going to be a few days' work. We might get some local help to help us with that, both in the knowledge and how to do it and the manpower, because we're just 4 people at the moment, which is just enough to keep going with the main task. But if you want to grow teak wood to use in the future, you need to look after the forest. So we'll probably pay somebody to come and do that, get it done and make sure it's all neat and tidy, and we will have a prosperous forest. What else is going on? Oh, I don't know if I showed you this mat. This mat is a pre-jiu-jitsu mat. So we ordered 2 mats which will go on top of these. Just little, these are like the jigsaw black mats which we got to protect the jiu-jitsu mat when it goes on the floor. And we will be rolling, well, I mean, we've already been rolling on the black one, but we're going to take that up a level. Maybe start hosting events where it's just open mats, people can come and roll, practice, and then of course we'll have some milkshakes, coffees, teas, and maybe some food available to purchase for whoever wants to practice here that lives by the coast. It'll be a little fun exercise, experimenting with having people over in a customer capacity. These guys need to give us some money. We'll build a proper bar, but not yet, not yet. Up there, maybe. I just want to add some context to this project as I take a walk through the new Coconut Tree Avenue, and that is how we are building this. Obviously, you've seen all the videos of us sweating, mostly using our own manpower and intuition and a lot of help from neighbors teaching us different things, but how is it being financed? Which is a pertinent question, and it's quite interesting actually. I'm gonna take a seat. So most real estate projects would work on credit. So a property developer gets $250,000 to, or maybe $1 million, depending on what the project is, to buy land and develop infrastructure, which then generates money, which pays back the capital which they borrowed. When a developer gets this credit, they are incentivized to spend it as quickly as possible because it's just accruing interest. So they need to put it into materials and build something that will then generate cash flow to pay back the loan. So that's the way typically these things work. However, we are not operating on credit. What we have is Bitcoin. We basically have no dollars. Personally, I have effectively no dollars or euros or any fiat currency printed by governments. I just have Bitcoin. So what does that mean? It means every decision, every investment that we put into this piece of land needs to be carefully thought out so that you're trying to make more Bitcoin from the project. Because it is an economic enterprise. Like we do aim to create value to earn money. But the difference is there's a chance that this project will never make as much Bitcoin as we've already put into it. Because for the land itself, we invested 1.5 Bitcoin collectively in the group of friends to buy the piece of land. 1.5 Bitcoin, that's now worth 180,000 US dollars. But I accepted that as soon as we bought it, that it may never generate the amount that was put into it. But that's the reality of this new money, which can't be devalued by a government or by a corporation. It's a fascinating experiment. Never like really experienced before in our lifetime, whereby you can save something and it's digital and it will be worth more in 5 years' time. Like it's never really existed before to the same degree. So that's why if you've been watching these videos and you're wondering why things take so long, we have been very slow to invest, just little by little, because in the long term, everything gets cheaper relative to Bitcoin. So the price of a load of sand right now is priced in dollars. It's $180 of sand. It's been like that for the last year. But if you had looked at the price in Bitcoin, the price it's halved, right? So when we have a reserve of Bitcoin, everything gets cheaper as time goes on. Like we're not millionaires. Like we have some Bitcoin and we're trying to make it last to build something that will eventually make more Bitcoin. And that's this is just some important context that I haven't really spoke about before because it's quite alienating. A lot of people just get put off. It's quite I don't know. I've given up trying to talk to people about Bitcoin because eventually you have to figure it out yourself. But I wanted to just mention it today because I guess it's important context for people that have been watching the channel for a while and just wondering like, geez, why, because I sometimes feel like, progress has been slow enough, but the amount that we've learned now in a year and a few months that we've been doing it means that the next year we're already so much more capable to take on a new, bigger builds and more challenging, more exciting projects. But right now, I guess it's rainy season, so it's hard to get materials up the site. So that's another challenge. But yeah, it's crazy. just this new, because I only learned about Bitcoin since moving to El Salvador. It was basically at the same time as buying the piece of land was the time that I was made aware of the significance of Bitcoin and the opportunities and benefits and brilliance of it. And yeah, I'm really glad to be here. Really glad to be here. It's amazing. Like, we can do so much in this field, and it's a long-term project. Like, we're very lucky to not be beholden to any bank to pay them back. So there's no time constraint. But yeah, we're always gambling with timing, you know. For example, when we dug our well, it was like a $10,000 investment. At the time, Bitcoin was priced at 60,000. We had waited for long enough. It had been floating up and down. And then we just pulled the trigger, invested in the well, and then 2 weeks later, or not even 2 weeks later, I think it was actually like 2 days later, the price of Bitcoin went up to like 84,000. So relatively, that means that we just paid 25% more than if we hadn't. So it's like, we're talking about thousands of dollars up here. So the same goes for any like little side projects. If it costs a couple of $1,000s now, it's less when the price of Bitcoin goes up. But yeah, that's some context I just wanted to share. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm always keen to answer questions, but you will find that most of them have been answered already if you just look in the right place. Yep. I'll show you one of the teepees. They're not they could be absolutely beautiful, but when you own two puppies that love to go into them in the morning, they're basically impossible to keep clean, especially when a lot of the site is mud and it rains. But here's a teepee. Very spacious. You stand up. The one thing is, they have gotten dirty and they're really hard to get the stains out. So we need to figure out, we're going to try and put maybe not a false interior, but like a new interior on it to yeah, I guess make it look more aesthetic. So we've quoted that material from the fabric tapiceria, I don't know what it's called in English, but they make like custom things with cloth. So that's where we live for now. There's 3 teepees, and yeah, maybe one day we'll have heaps of teepees up there, and there'll be a proper path up with the handrail and all of that down the line. For now we're just at the entrance. And our next big project, I don't know if I've said this already, is building a dorm block so we can move out of the camping or glamping lifestyle. We'll build a big dorm block here, 3 bedrooms potentially, to be confirmed, with its own deck and natural pool, which is a major project, but would need major earthwork, so can't start that until after the rainy season, or if you get a dry spell in the rainy season, you could make a break for it to do some earthworks. But that will sort of bring us to the middle of the site, so we'd have to run power and water up here, which is major infrastructure, but needs to be done because eventually we're always aiming to get up into that far corner to build our proper rancho bar one day. Will it be this year, next year? We don't know. We have to just keep going the way we're going, and yeah, trying to be resourceful and yeah, keep learning all the time. Because yeah, obviously the views are nicer up here. It's just everything is further away. So the cost of bringing everything up here we just weren't prepared to do that at the beginning of the project. But now we are, kind of, more ready. So that would be so fun to expand further into the field. Witnessed a miracle this morning. I was watching our neighbour driving back when this tree just fell, landing a few meters in front of his car. I couldn't believe it. There was a micro earthquake that caused it to split at its rotting core and land just a few meters in front of his car. We're also very lucky that it didn't hit our own electrical lines. Witnessing this near miss really put things into perspective, reminding us of what truly matters in life. One of those things is community, which quickly came into focus as neighbours came together to clear the fallen tree that had blocked the entire road. Everyone pitched in without hesitation, and as if nature wanted to reward our teamwork, we discovered a beehive hidden right in the centre of the trunk. In the middle of the tree, there's a beehive. In order to continue clearing the tree and its debris, we had to get rid of all the bees, which involved smoking them. After successfully disorientating the bees with this smoke, we were now able to cut open the hive to get access to the liquid gold.
No, me la partió la miel. Ahí está lo que hago una. Pártalo aquí, pártalo aquí. Aquí está el gran poco también. Ahí está bien rica, también está acidita.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that this was by far the most delicious honey I've ever tasted in my life, like nothing you'd buy in the store. Thanks bees, sorry about the gaff. We've come to the conclusion that this tree is very dangerous to leave there, so we're going to try and knock it down using a slingshot to get a string wrapped around the top, and then we're going to pull it using this cable towards the river so it doesn't hit the live electrical wire or this house. No joy with the slingshot, so we're taking our lives into our hands climbing the tree. Despite everybody having their own work and business to attend to, the top priority became mitigating the risk of this tree causing a serious accident. Once we got the rope and cable to the top of the tree, the idea was to pull it the opposite direction to the houses and electrical wires. But first we had to move the milkman's van, which he had temporarily abandoned when the road was still impassable due to the fallen tree.
Creo que no llega.
We found a strong enough tree in the right direction to anchor and tie the cable against this point. Once we felt the tree was sufficiently tied off, we decided to stop for lunch with the intention to resume another time. Make sure you tune in 2 weeks' time to see how we get on with this tree and how much progress we can make with our kitchen remodeling and the construction of our new patio area with its barbecue setup.